Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my Throne of Glass Sims 4 speed build series. That is a mouthful to say. So previously in part 1, which I'll link down below just in case you didn't see it, I mainly concentrated on building the glass castle, which I wasn't too happy with. I have changed it, but in part 2 today we're going to be building the upper class area of the town. So let's have a look what I've done. I had a lot of trouble with this. My game kept crashing, but here we are. We're back and the castle has changed a lot. It hasn't got all of the windows in it yet. The windows will be added in part 3, and I've just made it so the Sims can actually enter more of the castle, because last time it was just all turrets on top and there was no way I could do any kind of rooms in there. So yeah, it's still pointy and sharp looking, and the front I've tried to keep the same, and also the side of the palace I've kept roughly the same. And then we've got the gardens out here, which we'll do in part 3, and then the clock tower, it's only 2 stories instead of 3 stories. I've also got this collection of clutter for a marketplace, which I will do later in the video. And then here are our little blank blocks. Oh, they look so cute, don't they? Yeah, so we're going to leave half of them, and today we're going to concentrate on this like first row. And I plan to put in a church, and yeah, this is going to be the upper class kind of area of the town district. So here's a little picture which is AI generated. And I really love this. It looks very kind of Tudory, I suppose, with the wooden beams on some of the walls. But I don't want all the houses to be wooden beamy, because in the book I think the town is described as kind of stone, mostly stone, and then lots of glass. Glass in the castle, glass in the streets, not in the streets, but like windows. Just a lot of glass windows everywhere. So we're not going to be shy on adding big giant windows, because this is the glass castle empire. So we need a lot of glass everywhere. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about my use of stone. In the medieval period, the stone buildings was more common for the larger, wealthier buildings such as castles or churches or city walls, or maybe even the nobility had stone buildings. So this first strip of houses, I really want it to be for nobility, and add in some I want to add in shops into there for the upper class to go into. I'm not sure what shops yet. I don't know, maybe like a little upper class cafe, or I don't know, what would they have? A clothes shop maybe, that could be good. For the streets, for the town, I really wanted to use maybe like cobblestone or some sort of fancy brick texture, just to give the whole city this wealthy vibe, because I think this is the capital city, I think, of the glass castle empire. I really can't remember the name of this place. I've only just started reading this book. I think maybe I'm on chapter 20 so far. Well, anyway, so this upper class area, it's going to be a lot more posh. There's going to be stone, fancier glass windows, fancier glass doors, and then sort of the middle section of the town, I want it to still be brick, but also I want to combine in some kind of Tudor period style housing. I want some of the what is it called? I want some of the the wallpaper with the exposed beams on, just because that does look a little bit cheaper, lower class, I suppose. So the middle section is going to have some of that kind of Tudory style, and then the peasants' home. Peasants. Well, they're not really peasants. I think it's called the slums in the book. I want like the slum section to be more like farming based and have some thatched roofing. Maybe I think I'm probably going to make the walls in that slum area like made of wood or timber or exposed beam. It's not going to have any brick. It's just going to be very, just a lot lower class. I really want there to be a difference between the classes in the whole of the districts. Yeah. Oh my god, saying districts, it reminds me of the Hunger Games. Okay, so this is the posh district. Then we'll have the middle class district, and then we'll have the lower class slum area. So I do want each section to have its own little vibes. Okay, so at the moment I am making a church. I'm not actually too sure about those weird windows on the wall. I wanted to give the place more of a fantasy feel to the church. I didn't want it to be really realistic, but those circle windows are not it. They need to be removed. I do take them out later on, so they're not going to stay there. They do look really, really weird. I also do make the church a slightly darker stone color. I just wanted it to look older than the other buildings, and I do add a little graveyard in at the end. All of these windows at the moment as well on the side of the house, they are not going to stay there. I'm just playing with things and seeing what I want and where I want it. Yeah, so also for glass, because this is the glass castle, I just the medieval period and the Tudor period, which I really want to base this on, they shouldn't have giant glass windows everywhere. But this is based on the fantasy novel, so in that book it does have a lot of glass, so we're just going to add in bigger windows than what would be naturally there. Okay, what am I doing now? I'm just playing around with the church again. Yeah, I really want it to be fancy. Yeah, so for the first row of buildings, they're not big, they are small. Actually, I don't think we can really fit too much in there, but I suppose, like, obviously castles would be very, very large, and really big noble houses, like estate houses, are very, very big. But I think in the cities, even if you have a house for nobility, it's not going to be absolutely huge. So these houses being a little bit smaller, it's all right. I think we can add in a few rooms to each of the buildings. We can't really do too many, but we'll figure something out. And I think the first floor, I really want to make into shops. Maybe not everything is a shop, but I do want to do a few. Maybe a cafe could be good, and then a clothing boutique. Although I'm not really sure if I've got any medieval outfits. I know you can add mannequins, but would they even have mannequins in medieval times or Tudor times? I don't think so. I don't know how I'm going to add in a boutique to this. I would like to try, but I don't know yet. Okay, we're going to go for some nice, interesting roofing designs. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I did add some little beams in there. I just thought as we're getting up higher and higher, it just made sense to add that wooden beam wallpaper, because obviously if this is all stone, this is going to be a very, very heavy building. So wooden beams at the top could be more structurally sound. I also did play around with the idea of adding some glass roofing, because we do, it's the glass castle. We want glass everywhere, so maybe some of the little townhouses can also have glass, like a lot of glass. Right, so for this part of the build, we are just mainly focusing on the construction of this area, and then later on in the video I will skip forward a little bit, and then I'll show you what I got up to. I do decorate the second row and a little bit of the third row, just because this takes hours, absolutely hours to do. Especially when I'm choosing something, I really can't pick. I'm just like, what about this? What about this? how about this one? I'm like, do I add more plants in here? No, it's too planty. I don't really think this like castle-y city will have too many plants everywhere. I feel like, I don't know, like I haven't really read too much of the books, but the vibe I'm feeling is that even though this is like the capital city where the king lives, I feel like maybe the people won't be that well looked after. I think the king is all about war and taking over different countries and slaves. There's a lot of slaves in this book. I think the main character was also like taken to prison and made into a slave. But yeah, so I think the capital city, although I want it to be nice looking, I really don't want to add too many plants and make it too luxurious. I want it to show wealth, but I don't want it to be over the top. Which is really hard for me because I always go over the top in all my builds. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, I did make a speed build of Santorini, which took me, I don't know, a couple of weeks to make. Yeah, and I built a whole city, like, well, a town, and I think there's about 60 buildings in it ish, 50 to 60. And yeah, I lost my mind doing that. My computer got very, very slow and laggy with that lot. I haven't finished it yet. I've still got to edit a few things in there because yeah, with a lot that size you do miss out a few things. So yeah, I will finish that maybe Friday when I have time, and then I will upload the Santorini lot to the gallery, and that will be CC free. It's custom content free. And this one, it won't be on the gallery unfortunately because I am using like loads and loads of custom content. I really wanted to make this like as cool as possible, and I really don't have that many packs, and there's a lot of really cool custom content out there. So I really, yeah, I will use a lot in this build to really make this cool looking. Oh yeah, there goes the church, nice and dark. And I got rid of those windows. It looks much better. I actually just downloaded some church custom content, and I'll show you in part 3 with the insides. It looks really, really cool. I cannot believe people make all this stuff for The Sims. It's amazing. I am really amazed. Every time I go on the CurseForge website, I'm always searching for something new, and I definitely think my computer doesn't want me to do that. It's like, please stop, you've got too much custom content. I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna destroy myself. And I'm like, no, you'll be fine. Just another pack, just a few more items. To be fair, I don't really have too many mods. I don't really play with too many mods. I just have loads and loads of custom content. Maybe, I don't know, about 4,000 files. Which is it's not that much. I think people who have been using custom content for many, many years, they're gonna have way more than me. And I've only been using like CC for about, I don't know, maybe 10 months now. I started using it last year and now I can't stop. Anyway, if you haven't used it, it is fun. It is really fun to use and find new things. So if you want to try it, I say go for it. And also the CurseForge website, I think it's really safe. Obviously, I think they check the files before they're, well, anyway, I think it is safe. So far, I haven't had any problems with any of the files, and I think they are checked somehow before, like if someone uploads them, they will be checked. And also this plant did not want to stick to this fencing. That really annoyed me. Yeah, look, it's not going. Go! Yeah, it said no. It told me I'm putting too many plants in. As you'll see on all the buildings, I've added in like a red flag everywhere, which I'm just pretending is the like royal flag of the kingdom. I think they are supposed to be red. Please, in the comments, tell me if I am right or wrong, but I swear the flags are red. And that's just a lot of colors because the flags are red the door into the castle is supposed to be red, I think. And then the castle glass, the glass in the castle is supposed to be like kind of greeny colored. So it's just a lot of red and red and green going on, which is, fun. Like for me personally, like red doors and green glass, maybe it's a no. I would have preferred just a normal looking glass, and maybe I don't know, not red. I don't really like the color red that much. I prefer green. You could probably tell that I do like green. I do add in a lot of plants to most of my builds. And I think I did a whole green speed video as well, like a speed build where I changed the whole build into green themed, which is really fun. I love green. What's your favorite color? Is it green? If it is, let's be friends. Yeah, okay, so the back of this row of houses, there's not really much space to do anything, and I just thought maybe I could, I don't know, add a tiny little garden or just some plants. I really wanted to add like a back door and a front door to every single house, because I thought maybe the front door section could be like for the shops, that's where the customers come in, and then the back door area is for the people who live in the building. They will come into the back area, and maybe there could be, I don't know, some plant pots and laundry stuff out the back. We don't really want laundry and plant pots at the front. That's going to be our shopping main street, and yeah, it's supposed to be very lovely. But the back, we're gonna add some stuff, a lot of stuff to it later. Okay, what am I doing now? I'm just playing with a bunch of windows. For the windows colors, oh my god, what am I saying? For the window colors, I want to stick to black and white and brown. I don't really want to go too crazy. And for the second row of houses and the third row, I do copy over some of the windows and doors that I chose for the first row, just to give the city a little bit more, I don't know how to explain. I don't want everything to look really individual. I want it to be, oh, how do I say that? Oh, when you build so long in The Sims, your mind kind of goes. But yeah, I want it to have like a city feel. I don't want every single house to be different. I want it to not join together, link together. Yeah, my mind is gone. I want it to blend. Blend? Well, I want it to have the same feeling, kind of. So some of the doors and some of the windows and some of the brick is then copied on to some of the other houses. Look, my mind is gone. I've spent so long on this building. Oh, well, build. And it's nowhere near done. Okay, so here we are. We've slowed down, and I did go in to this build and really decorate it. Yeah, look at it. So this front section, the first row is now, well, it's not front section, the back section. This first row is now finished. As you can see, I have gone in and done the second row. That is now finished. And also the third row is now finished. But I am obviously going to add in a few more flags because, woo, go King of the Glass Castle. We love you. Here are our flags to support you. We don't really like him. I believe he does get killed. I'm not sure in what book he gets killed, but I feel like he does. I feel like he has to die because he's not a good guy. Oh, this slum area, it's not done. I have added in the wallpaper for the buildings, but as I tried to copy over the wooden floor, it just went everywhere, and that's why the houses look like that. It's kind of weird. Okay, so as you can see, we've got our little doors everywhere. They look lovely. Some of these will be houses and some of them will be shops. And then in the second row, they are all empty at the moment. And I did try and put staircases in and some ladders, but obviously I have forgot some again. I will quickly add them in now. Let's just grab a ladder. Oh, I really wish I could add staircases, but these houses are so small, only a ladder will fit. But also at the same time, a ladder does save space, which is great. I mean, these houses are tiny, so yeah, a ladder is probably better for them, just so we can have more space inside. Okay, so this is a tavern. Yeah, not a pub, not a bar. It's a tavern because this is old school, fantasy old school. And I'm just going to speed build this with you now. So for my little tavern, I've got a little outside drinking section, just because, you know, if you're walking down the street and you fancy something to drink, you can just grab it there. And I'm just picturing like lots of maybe the castle guards or city guards. They will come here and take a load off and grab a drink with some buddies while they patrol the streets. Maybe. I don't really know what goes into a tavern. I was just thinking, what would they have? Obviously, barrels of alcohol and I don't know. Just really trying to find any clutter that could fit. A lot of it is CC. That barrel bar is also custom content, which really suits it. I think that looks kind of cool. And then for the walls, we've got some nice taxidermy stag heads and whatnot. We've also got the palace, castle, royal, I don't know, tapestry up there. You know, we support the king. Woohoo! He lets us drink alcohol. Yeah, I didn't really put too many seats in this place. Maybe 3 lots inside. And then there's 2 seating, 2 stools outside. But I'm thinking I might do, I don't know, do I put more seating upstairs or do I do maybe like a bed and breakfast? Because in fantasy books, the characters always seem to go to some sort of tavern and then there's like housing, there's bedding, there's rooms upstairs that they can rent for the night, and then their horses go out into the stables. So I'm thinking I could do some really cheap, kind of creepy like rooms, bedrooms upstairs, but also I don't want to make this tavern too taverny. Like, this is a building on like the main street, the main fancy street, but the tavern is very, I don't know, run down looking. Look at it. Oh, it looks used. It looks old. It looks funky. Maybe I shouldn't have done it this funky, but I just thought maybe the tavern was one of the like original buildings in this city and they just refused to upgrade it. They are like, nope, the tavern is for the people. We need to keep it and it's never going to be changed. Yeah, so the tavern is a bit taverny looking. I don't really think it fits in with the wealthy part of the street next door, but it's fine. It looks cool, and I did get some custom content, kind of taverny looking signs, which is that big one. That looks really cool. I love that. Okay, tavern, you're almost finished now. We've got a little picture down there of the king. We can pretend that's the king and his little banners everywhere. Okay, adding that brown in actually does make it look a little bit more upmarket. Maybe, yeah, okay, so maybe it's kind of like half upmarket, half a little bit trashy. And I do really think like the royal guards or city guards would come in here and just chill out and grab a pint. Oh my god, what would they even have in like medieval times? Like mead? Is that what they would have? A little goblet of mead. I don't know. Anyway, that is our tavern, and for the outside, I wasn't really sure. I don't know, like what to put out, because this is the main fancy street in the whole of the city districts, and I don't know, I didn't want to clutter it up too much, but at the same time I want to add a lot of clutter to make this look really alive. I suppose I did add some like taverny looking items. Maybe they got some, I don't know, of their stock outside which they need to move in. and they just haven't had time to do it yet because the tavern is always busy. Yeah, okay, so it's not too bad. I think as I go along the rows of houses, I will make them more cluttered and more dirty as we go along to like the poor slum area. Oh, I feel so sad for those people living in the slums. I haven't even made it yet, but it's gonna look absolutely terrible. It's gonna look so sad. It's gonna be full of dirt and cobwebs and rats. I think there is a little mouse you can add. I don't know what pack that came with. Maybe the For Rent had the mouse. It's like in the paintings section of the decorations. There's like a little mouse hole, and you can add it to the floor. So in the slummy area, I'm gonna add like 10 mouse holes. Those poor people, they're gonna be so shocked. I would not want to live there. I think on the spider webs as well, like a spider moves, so I'm gonna add those as well. Just a lot of mice and a lot of spiders and a lot of dirt. Okay, so next I thought, what can I add which is kind of fantasy and medievally and Tudory into this? And I thought, you know, plant shop, because I love plants and they would definitely have plants back in the day. I was thinking I wanted to add a bookshop, but I swear in the book, all of the books in all of the kingdoms, all of the land have been taken by the king, and he's like burnt a lot of books, and I feel like books are just not allowed. So we can't really do a bookshop. If we want to stick to like a Throne of Glass kind of theme. If this wasn't a Throne of Glass build, then yes, I would add in a huge bookshop and maybe even a library. But because this is the Throne of Glass, we cannot have a bookshop in here. So instead, we've got a little plant shop going in. And I thought it was really cool because I found some custom content glass like shelving, which I thought, oh yeah, this is Throne of Glass. We're going to have glass shelving everywhere. It's going to be great. And I have so much custom content plants. Oh, I love them. Look at those little pots. Aren't they cute? Okay, here we go. This is my favorite part. Look at all the plants coming. I just wanted to keep the plant shop really, really simple. Just lots of shelving everywhere. Obviously, they don't grow all the plants in here. They must have to like get them from the countryside where they grow them and then bring them into the town and then restock. Yeah, well, so far I've just got little tiny plants for most of the shelving. There's not too many big ones in here. And then, yeah, I added those weird lights. Maybe the pink doesn't really suit it. So I think later on I do change those flower lights to white color. Like a whitey, maybe a like white color, which do blend in a little bit more. I do think in the book there's not supposed to be any magic. So yeah, these are not magic plants. Maybe they will be, I don't know, just strange pink. Okay. White plants. They are strange white glowing plants in this fantasy realm. They're not magic because we're not allowed to use magic, and magic is not here. Yeah, okay, so I did have to move the back door to the shop. I didn't realize, but I had blocked that back door completely with all the plants, which is not my best move, but I do fix it. I moved I think the door goes into the middle, which then is usable. And then on the other side of the room, I just add in a lot more shelving and a lot of some paintings and yeah, more plants. Just shelving, plants, and a few more, just, I don't know, random things. This is a long video. If you're still here and you're still watching, thank you so much. I really have fun making these like Sims speed builds, And I just think like, oh my gosh, are people gonna like this? Are they gonna watch? What am I doing? Is this boring to watch, or is it fun to watch? I personally really love to watch other people's speed builds. I just think it's like really cool to see how they bring like one of the builds to life and how they clutter something up and design the interior. So for me, speed builds are really, really fun, but also at the same time, I'm never like too sure what to chat about. Obviously you can talk about the build, but I don't want to chat about the build the whole of the time. I want to share some other stuff as well. But I don't know if that's what people want to hear. Do they only want to hear about the build, or do they, yeah, well, anyway. Let me know in the comments, when you watch a speed build, do you like to just listen to like the ideas behind it, or do you like to also listen to just some random chatting as well? Well, like what I'm doing. Oh yeah, that looks very cool inside now. I did want to change that wallpaper in there. Just brick, it wasn't that interesting. I wanted to make at least this back wall look a bit more intriguing. That's why I'm trying to add in some paintings and things just to make it look a bit more, just more. We need more in here. Okay, I think upstairs in this building I will make into like maybe a tiny house. So the person who owns this plant shop lives upstairs and then they'll go down to work. I'm definitely gonna have to add in some sort of door though, because then if Sims come in here, they'll go straight up into the house, which is a big no-no. They're not allowed to do that. Alright, I think this one is almost done, and then I will slow down the video again and then show you the market, which I have built off screen because it took me ages. Like, designing the market was insane. I'll show you in ready, maybe 3, 2, come on, 1.5, 1, 0. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I just want to show you this little tiny market before I finish the video. And once again, if you have got this far, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me that you're interested in what I'm doing. Okay, here's our little tiny market. I found these big boats. They're some sort of decoration, they're like a posh decoration. And I think they're quite expensive. I just sized them up because the little boats I used before were from Debug, but they were just not fancy enough. I wanted something like kind of old school. So I sized these guys up and they look pretty cool now. And I was just really, really glad they had red sails because yes, red flag for the kingdom. Woohoo! Oh yes. Okay, so here's our market area. It's kind of weird. We've got a crystal stand. I don't know why there's not supposed to be any magic in this kingdom. We've got a little pot and pan one, a little planty one because we love plants, we sell plants, and yeah. And then we have, I don't know, like a frog and bug section. I did put a frog in that cage as well. Woo, that poor frog. Over here we have like a fruit and vegetable stall, and when I put these down they didn't clip into each other, but now they are. And I know you can move the table and then move them, you can arrange them a bit better, but I was really tired at this point, so I just made everything smaller so they fit a bit better. Yeah, just small. Go ahead, go small. Everybody, come on, go smaller. There you go. Okay, so yeah, that's our little fruit and veg stall. And then over we have a cute little bakery stand. Ooh, yeah, let's add a bakery. That'll be really, really cute. And I'm gonna add like 20 bundt cakes to the bakery because that bundt cake actually looks really, really nice. Okay, this is my little like wine stand. Maybe they import wine and then they sell it right there on the market. And then we have kind of a bits and bobs area and a wood carving stand. And then this is, I don't know what this section is. It's kind of random and weird, and it's just got a lot of stuff. It doesn't really make any sense, but it doesn't need to because this is based on a fantasy novel series. Right, okay, so yeah, we've got our market, we've got our flower shop, and we've got our tavern, which is looking lovely. And then, yeah, maybe I'll add in a cafe or a bakery, and then maybe like a boutique shop as well. And then we need some housing upstairs. Yeah, there's still so much left to do. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in part 3. Leave a like, leave a comment, and even subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.